has just started. We're looking at a first pick, first ban for Cloud9 Vortex.
So let's get to it then.
That's right. So, what are we expecting to see? Now, up until this point, we have gotten a chance to cast both of these teams. Of course, Cloud9 Vortex versus Wild Growth, and Go Gaming, of course, we saw one of their games versus... starts with an S. What is it? What's the name of the team? Moving on. We also got to see them versus...
Cloud9 was against Wild Growth.
Yes, Cloud9 versus Wild Growth.
Goon and Shattered.
Goon,
Goat and Game.
Goon.
Goat and
That's
Goon.
right. So, in that series, we saw very aggressive play from both of these teams. I wonder how much that... Okay, and before I even get a chance to finish my thought, we have that Tyrande ban for Cloud9 Vortex and a Sylvanas ban. Sylvanas probably 100% pick ban so far, almost positive.
This is... Oh, wow. Glad I didn't finish that sentence. I was going to say, this is 100% going to be a Jaina pick from Cloud9 Vortex. They've been doing that repeatedly.
Yeah.
And, of course, I didn't say it. Phew, great. Good job. Illidan is the first pick out here from Vortex.
Illidan makes sense. Oh, there's the Jaina, of course. So Illidan, we actually haven't seen too much Illidan because he has been banned very frequently. And the times we have seen him played has been paired up with a Rhaegar.
I think it was Vortex that ran him those times.
Yeah. And they are setting themselves up to get a Rhaegar again if they so choose. Vala picked up, getting that damage. And Uther. Uther can also work with the Divine Shield if that's the route that they want to go for team fighting.
That has now definitely been more and more. I haven't seen a storm all day on either side of the ocean. I did some Gosu this morning. Now I'm doing ESL. I'm going to do the same things tomorrow over the Go4 as well as the finishing of the quals there. But
busy man.
Yeah.
How does he find the time?
Esports waits for no one, and sleep schedules be damned. That's how you get it done, sir.
There you go. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, with this shield, I've seen so many shields this meta patch, and it goes great for these melee initiators.
That's right. To counter that, we have... we already talked about the Jaina. Tassadar is just a good pick in general, just for some of that damage and utility. Gets the extra healing bits. Tychus, we've talked about this a little bit as well.
Yep.
The Draken Laser Drill can be a very interesting counter for any of the melee heroes that want to try to jump in to get that control in, get that damage in. And the laser drill can absolutely force some positioning for Illidan, assuming the heals aren't there. But of course, if he's invulnerable for 3 seconds, that's a pretty good way of dealing with that too. So
to go with the Tychus, we got the ETC in the front line here from the Goats. They still need to put a heals on the board. Rhaegar's still out there, but we have seen triple supports, unfortunately. I don't think we're really going to see that here from Vortex. It would be a very big denial kind of pick, but I don't think they need to do it.
Let's see. If they want to go for a pick style, I don't think that's really what they're going to be looking for. Diablo, I was going to say Diablo Kerrigan if they wanted to go for a pick-heavy style composition. I don't think that's going to be the case. No one left with a healing ward. Yeah, they could go for an elf if they want it. And we've known in the past, of course, that Illidan is able to get a lot of work done if he has double support. And that could be a denial pick, too. They might be thinking, what type of healer does Go Gaming really want for this? They could want Brightwing. They could steal Brightwing away.
Game number 2 of the semis actually had a Cloud9 Vortex Brightwing. And in terms of global precedence, because we got Goat Gaming with that ETC, very likely to be a stage dive, you could actually counter global for global here with that second heal.
That's a very good point. And also, to deal with Illidan, the Polymorph is invaluable to shut down the Illidan, especially if they can get at it before he gets the invulnerability. So that might be what they're debating right now. Is do we steal the Brightwing, get that double support in there for Illidan? No, they're picking up extra damage in the form of Falstad.
Okay, well, I mean, that's still a global presence.
This is true.
It's not the one we were thinking of, but with that fly around, he will be able to at least try to counter that a little bit with that experience. So with the Falstad, I haven't really seen a lot of him this patch, but he did get some auto attack upgrades. The barrel roll has a little bit of love in terms of some of the talents you can pick for it there. But will this be the Hinterlands Blast, or will this be a shove comp?
A shove comp. If they had something to really set up for, I mean, I think it's going to be Hinterlands. Not that they have a lot to isolate with the Hinterlands damage output. That's something that pairs pretty well with Tyrael. For example, if they dive in with Tyrael, you overdrive with the Gathering Power stacks, you can really eliminate some people very quickly. They don't exactly have that super heavy jump in, dive into the fight type of style. At least not something that has, applies a direct stun immediately and allows you to get that guaranteed damage off. So we'll have to see. I don't expect to see a gust, mainly because what does that leave them for damage? Just output in general. Vala, and it's sustained. They can get it done, but you're relying quite a bit on you staying alive throughout the entire fight with just the one healer. That might be a little bit more difficult. Of course, Go Gaming, they have Rhaegar, they have Tassadar for the healing ward and the shield as well. So things to keep in mind.
It is something that, to confirm, though, it is a solo healing Uther.
Yeah.
Not, I mean, they banned out the Toronto themselves, and it was an early Tassadar pick. And Tassadar, I say this a lot, but he goes really well into almost any
Yes,
team
he does.
You get him early, and you still have a lot of flexibility of where you go. Could Cloud9 Vortex have shot themselves in the foot?
By banning out the Toronto? Or
right, and not being able to pick up the Tassadar and not taking double support.
That's true. I was looking at who had healing ward left, and it wasn't quite there. That's why I really thought that the Brightwing was going to be a not necessarily guaranteed, but a very solid pick, and I'm sure that they thought about it. It was probably down to some extra damage dealer in the form of Falstad or Brightwing. But Go Gaming didn't end up taking that counter pick anyway. All right, let's get to introducing these teams on the blue side. For Cloud9 Vortex, we have Bobby Hank Hill on Illidan. Tazza is going to be playing Diablo. Zix on Uther, Syracuse, Falstad, and Fan on Vala. Of course, make sure I get that name pronunciation correct.
Yeah, we got it straight from the horse's mouth. Zix, guys. That is how we're going to refer to that. No more Zixa or Zizix or anything like that. But we have now been watching multiple games from these guys in red. The GOATs are coming out really strong. Equinox, Curse Fury, base drop. Looks like Pythix into the bottom lane, and that leaves us with Lex Uther, not on the Uther, but on instead that Rhaegar top.
That's right. All right, so let's take a look at some of these talents, see if we can glean some information about what they're going to be taking later on in the game. We do see the power throw from Falstad, which means I know the auto attack builds have been taking a little bit more precedence. Some people even taking a mix of the two. This probably means we will see a burst style build. And actually, as we mentioned that, he takes a ton of damage and is going to fall at the top side lane, almost able to get over the wall to the healing well, but some counter pressure.
Yeah, I think Lex has him well in hand. Not only that, but the guitar solo ready to go as well. It was actually a really nice bait from Lex Uther. He went in with the Ghost Form, got off an attack, and that forced out the response from Syracuse saying, oh, I can deal with this. Fortunately, he could not deal with the roam. And now Taz actually low hit points in the mid. He's going to get taken down as Fury has now done 2 tower dives with his performances and resulted in 2 kills.
That's right, we'll have to hearth back, but still they'll take that level advantage as these 2 temples spawn in the top and mid lanes. What's going to be the strategy for either team? Do they put all of their focus into mid lane? There hasn't been any particular early pressure onto some of the structures, which might indicate which lane they're going to take precedence over. So I think we might just see a straight up team fight over trying to get control of this mid temple.
Yeah, Tazza comes right back into it there with Zix. Got Fan there as well. Multi-shots are going to be coming out strong. Neither side actually has that level 4 advantage, but they're not going to hold it for very long either. So no fights are going to be breaking down. They are just going to try to just trade them out. We did actually get a few shots from Blue on this temple just before they got shoved off it. So if it is just these straight trades, it will still favor Cloud9 a little bit. But, you know, going back and forth, Pythix and Bobby Hankill are still very much in the bottom lane. They are not rotating whatsoever. Fan is actually trying to deal with Fury. Fury is okay with it, I guess, for now. Just for now, though.
And we didn't actually see all of the shots being fired off the top, and it looks as though Go Gaming is going to get the aggression for the top lane, but still they are able to clean up a kill on to ETC, and do they get more? Cloud9 Vortex is going to pick up 2 quick kills here. Equinox not able to get up there to save his teammate in time. So they're trading off a lot of shots in the top tower, and all of those remaining shots will go the way of Go Gaming, but still, they lose 2 kills for it.
So, you know, all those kills were basically now rendered moot with the 2-kill pickup there from Cloud9. They also, again, you know, had more shots from these earlier temples, so they have a bit more of an advantage going forward. You can see it's slightly represented there with the levels. But what kind of talents did we have at level 4? We got the Melting Point, the Echo Pedal. We did actually have the Feral Heart last round from the Rhaegar today. It's going to be the far side.
They want to get that extra vision for the area so that they can see what the rotations are. Not that these are particularly heavy rotate comps, at least in terms of getting ganks. But that said, I do like the Arcane Intellect grab at level 4. They're not looking to roam around and steal kills away, so they're going to try to go for a more sustained team fight. And that's what Arcane Intellect is going to be pointing towards. So I like that grab. Everything else looking pretty standard. Falstad, again, still pointing towards taking that very ability damage focused, and the Boomerang is going to point to just that as well.
Yep, a very standard sort of hammer build from him right now. Level 13, 16 will kind of tell us a little bit more where he wants to go for the specialization. You could easily go into the Lightning Rod damage, Lightning Rod shield, Giant Killer, any number of things. Overdrive is, I still think, a very popular mage option, though, at 16 for him.
Yeah,
so.
I think that is going to be very likely what we'll see, because you're going to look to get that big burst damage in those team fights. And look at this. Cloud9 Vortex feels aggressive enough to take this spot, to take the Giants, and they are going to get it. Oh, do they flip Curse Fury back in to the circle to capture? They are going to get the kill on him. They're going to get the offensive Giants. This puts them in a very nice spot, and I believe that the Shrines are going to be spawning at around the 5-minute, 5:15 mark. So not quite timed well enough to provide a distraction. Oh, actually a bit earlier than I expected, so maybe it will.
4:55 or so. Yeah, 53, who knows. Either way, it's only the one into the bottom. Both these teams know this. Nobody's gone for bruisers. We got Illidan's on one side, not doing any kind of big merkin. He has been part of that 5-man roam into looking for those Siege Giants, which they did get. And now, of course, we have the second set of Siege Giants going the way of Cloud9 here as well. But everybody is now kind of making their way down. Even the Tychus is stopping a little bit there in the mid for some experience, but it looks like we're gearing up for a good old-fashioned team fight, Cuby.
That's right. Usually at this point, like you mentioned, with the bruisers in the top lane providing a nice amount of split push distraction for this bottom, I think that would have been a good option for either team to have taken. Not the case here, so you're right. It's going to be a straight-up fight. And Cloud9 Vortex is really just bullying for this position in front of the choke. They don't want to let Goat Gaming in, but they are moving in now. Curse Fury looking to get a pick on someone out of position. Maybe it's Fan. He gets the dash through the power slide, and they take him down to about half health. Not going to be enough to pick up the kill. 6 staying in the back, making sure to get the heal. Not quite sure which team is going to be coming out on top. Illidan really starting to get a lot of work done. Base Drop is going to get body locked enough. Haza is going to be able to get out with that Shadow Charge. Now they've picked up 2 kills. This is a very heavily advantaged fight. Bobby Hankill doesn't want to overextend to get this kill. Okay, and the heal comes in time. Syracuse also really low.
Yeah, Fan, he was the big target in the beginning, and he's still living all the way to the end there. But that's level 10. Bobby Hankill goes in with the Metamorphosis, and I don't know why. But they got the 10.
Heroic, yeah.
And Valor traded out for the Tychus as well. There goes the rest of those shots into the bottom. That has done a heck of a lot of work on top of that fort. Perhaps he was going in trying to time it out with those 5 shots to take down the fort, and it just didn't happen. He was looking for the kill, obviously, on the Tassadar, but he just got way too aggressive about it. Either way, they traded out, I think, 2 for 2 by the end of it all.
Yeah, that seems about right. Still having taken all the shots in the bottom temple, of course, going to be a big advantage. Having that bottom fort taken out, that is why we see that level lead advantage going towards Cloud9 Vortex.
Level up is not the end of the world yet, but as they get closer to 13, that's where we're going to be wanting to try to force something out here from the Goats so that they could still kind of fight on that even level. We do got their own bruisers now pushing down. Bobby Hankill has finally gone off to the solo adventures of Bruiser Town himself. And Taza is really playing this very, very patiently. He's looking for Equinox. Now Equinox knows this might have been a bad idea.
Ooh, a very nicely timed Pendulum's Blast and Lightning Breath to get the kill on the aggression, so-called aggression. They ended up trading out Falstad for Tychus, and Bobby Hankill is going to have to dive over the Bruiser camp to try to escape. I don't think this is going to net any more kills for either team, although Fan perhaps is overextended. The Water Elemental is now going to be able to provide enough slows. The Strafe has to be popped, and Ancestral Healing is off in time to make sure that Base Drop is up to full HP. This can't go well for Vortex at this point. They need to try to find a way out.
Well, it looks like they're just going to be able to walk out of it. There's just not enough there's just not enough aggression here. Equinox is back from the grave. Cloud9 just doesn't stick around to it. They actually let their mercs do the distracting, and they make themselves a clean getaway by the end of it all. Fan was definitely in a bit of a sticky situation. He had a water elemental on top of him as well, but it just wasn't enough to break through the shields and the heals provided there by the Uther. Taza, however, is going to be a big target, and he's really slow right now.
He does get the Divine Shield. He does have 146 souls on top of that as well. It's a nice bait, though, to get that Heroic out of the way. So, if we look at the two temples that have spawned, they're really far apart. I think it is in Cloud9 Vortex's best interest to trade temples since they're already ahead in structures.
Yeah,
Go Gaming is going to be aware of this. Yeah, they want to make sure that they can, because the level advantage is very similar at this point. I think that Go Gaming is aware of this. They were trying to get aggressive to try to pick up a couple kills because it's really not in their interest to trade temples out at this point. Still, I think they were pretty happy with baiting out the Divine Shield, and they're just going to move forward.
It is, curiously enough, a giant killer coming out from Volstead. Okay. So it's not going to be using any of that ability power for the lightning damage or the lightning shield. It will just be auto attacks. And it's obviously Volstead has gone through his own paces, his own iterations. But once upon a time, I wrote a guide on Heroes Fire called "Throwing Hammers from the Sky," which is more or less the same build. So it's interesting to see it come and go in different metas.
Yeah. And it's going to depend a lot on the player as well in terms of their preference and what they feel the particular situation will net them. I don't know if ETC is going to take imposing. That might put a slight hindrance onto that auto attack damage because he would be the best target, of course, for that giant killer.
Yeah. So we also have the Shrink Ray at level 13, which is a very common pickup here if it's... well, you can't do Sprint anymore on Uther. What else is at the 13th tier? Either way, we see a heck of a lot of the Shrink Rays these days.
For Uther, yeah, it's going to be that usually, or Spell Shield more often than
Spell
not.
Shield or Swing Heal.
Yeah, that is true. All right, so both teams are sort of playing a bit patiently at the time. There is still that one level lead, no talent advantage for either team at the moment. They're just sort of backing up, taking what map advantage they can.
Oh, it's going to be the Feral Lunge from Rhaegar.
Okay.
I've been actually seeing a bigger choice for the heals, but wow, Fury down to half immediately on that engage. Ooh.
They're just sort of posturing right now. It looks as though the Shadow Charge is enough to dissuade Go Gaming from stepping a little bit further into that fight. Of course, Illidan is quite the distance away. We actually didn't get a chance to talk about Moshpit.
Sure. Yeah,
we're sort of expecting that global presence that we were talking about earlier, especially to counteract that of Falstad. But the Mosh Pit could set up a lot of utility, especially to deal with Illidan 1 and to get more damage out of that Archon.
Yeah, Mosh Pit Laser, however, could also be something huge here, but big stuns, big damage coming back and forth. The Lightning Breath is getting a huge duration off, and there goes ETC. No stage performance for him, no encore, but Ithix could actually be going into the void. He's going to have to. Bobby Hank Hill and the crew, I mean, the prescience is cool and all, but Ithix gets shrunk and deleted out from Cloud9. That's going to be a 2-kill quick fight for them as well. 10 heroics and 2 kills later.
Yeah, that was quite a bit of value that was thrown for the Lightning Breath on Diablo, and they were just able to not really ended up taking too much punishment from the dance and the laser drill as well. So they were able to get in, get the work done, despite having the stun field being laid down from ETC. They did net themselves a couple kill, and now, big story, a tier advantage at level 16.
Yeah, that's definitely the big news. 2 levels up in the 16 towns. Double blood for blood. We got the Benediction. There is the Overdrive as well at the 16. So, you know, once more, the Hinterlands Blast, Overdrive driven, and on the back of that Gathering Power. Haven't seen a Falstad death in a bit, so he should actually have quite a few stacks ready to go. And on the edge of all that, the Firestorm. No imposing here.
Just getting that extra damage. The imposing would really just be to try to counteract the Archon. Not going to get too much value out of it.
The Tychus?
If he went Odin, yes. But you're going to get some, but I think if he had gone Odin, we very likely would see that imposing presence.
Okay. I guess it doesn't really affect Overkill much, does it?
No, not so much. I mean, he's going to get times, especially once he throws down that laser drill, where he's going to be getting a ton of auto attacks. And oh, actually, the Ancestral Healing is missed. Hold that thought, and it looks as though Go Gaming is now on the run. Zixa looking to go in to get that stun, and ooh, an unfortunate flip from Tazza. I think that they're still going to get the kill in. A lot of kills? Wow.
Yeah, the prescience there from Bithix at the end. Well, actually, he toggled that, so he still has the prescience in the bank. Either way, 16 to 14. That was a huge power difference, and you saw that. I mean, we caught out not only the Lex Uther on the retreat, but as well, I mean, you saw the flip of the kill on top of the ETC, and they picked up the Jaina literally for free at the edge of that Lightning Breath. 3 levels between the teams on the back of a fight and a keep, and that's what, boss? That feels like a boss.
I would think that they would go for the boss. They're actually all right outside that clairvoyance range, so this might confuse Goat until they see that triggered there. I probably would have preferred them taking a boss, to be honest. If they're not going to move forward to try to get any more of the keeps I think they could have gotten away with it, especially with the talent and level advantage they have.
Yeah, the level advantage, 3 levels. I mean, that's in order, what, 900 health or so just for Tazza alone.
Yeah.
It's not quite that high. It's gonna be like 800 something, but that's ability power, it's attack damage, it's health, it's regen, and it's very, very much closer to that Storm talent here. So
okay, they've scouted out that the boss is being taken. Curse Fury is going to dash in and try to bully them off as best as possible. And died very quickly for it. That is that level advantage really coming into play. You have to kind of come up with some kind of interesting play to catch Cloud9 Vortex off guard, especially with this level deficit. Otherwise, you're going to be running into a 2-for-0 deficit hero-wise. This is going to net a sizable amount of pressure. Very likely a split push to get themselves another keep.
Oh, Pythix is going to be the big target here, but he should have that prescience ready to go. You can see the dimensional warp coming in with that heal there as well.
Are they going for this? Yes,
there's no reason not to.
To.
Yeah, I mean, Zizix is having a heck of a time trying to heal everyone up, and there goes the bite butt from Lex Uther. But again, they got a boss. So
they do.
Even if they all wipe here, I think the boss just finishes it out. There goes the Uther, and Lex Uther to join him.
That was a statement right there.
Very strong showing.
Brutal play. Yes, Vortex says, yeah, we see that you guys have a lot of veterans on your team, but we are also no strangers to the game and competitive scene ourselves, showing that advantage that they have. 3 levels up into that game, 16-7 kills. Very convincing. Only the 1 fort was taken from Go Gaming, so they're going to have to revamp their strategy. Not particularly aggressive compositions were drafted for either team, but they're both showing they can play without it. Maybe Cloud9 Vortex more so.
Well, I mean, Cloud9 Vortex, we don't see a lot of solo healing Uthers, but they made it work. They absolutely made it work.